Welcome to the Swing Trading with Cycles channel. We're going to do a review of PLG Platinum Group metals, and we'll also look at platinum itself. This thing does tend to be correlated with palladium as well, so be aware of that. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Definitely always take a look at the pinned comment. All past videos there, and also other asset classes reviewed, and also helps you get up to speed on price action signals like swing lows, swing highs, and an understanding of cycles in general. So I'll get rid of this. We can draw it together, right? These are yearly candles, so every year is 1 year of price action. So this candle here, this candle is the entire year of 2004, and so you can see 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007. Each year it made a higher high, right? Very bullish, moved up, and then we made a big lower low, and then we made a lower high. And then we just basically started the downtrend, right? Like, we just kind of cascaded lower. And now we find ourselves in this kind of situation where we're an inside candle on the yearly. Again, this red candle right here is this year, 2023. This candle here is your 2022 candle, excuse me. Notice that candle went below the previous year's low. This is your 2021 candle where it went red. So this entire year, very ugly to be in. This year obviously wasn't too pretty either, and we're going to zoom in on the lower time frames. But this is just to get the big picture. And what do you notice? We're on the verge of going below the low from 2022, which was $1.20. So we're here at $1.37. That would obviously be a big move in terms of percentages for sure. But I mean, look at this thing. It's in a massive downtrend. If anything, this was a reversal attempt, right? This big bullish outside candle on the yearly time frame in 2020. But then we got a big rejection, a consolidation towards the lows, which is essentially just a bear flag. And now, again, to be clear, this is just an inside candle so far. Nowhere near the high, which is 284. Wow. That's the high from 2022. But still above the low of $1.20, right? So, yikes. And it's obviously much closer to $1.20 than it is to, $2.84. So it's consolidating at the lower end of the range in the same way that this consolidated at the lower end of this range. It's just not great news, right? At one point, I'm sure this candle was consolidating at the lower end of this range. I mean, look how that worked out, right? So if we zoom in on the lower time frames, you can see on the monthly chart where it's basically we had this like big move down, and then we had this bounce, which I guess in percentage terms probably wasn't that bad. Let's see, from here to there. Yeah, that was a 62% rally, right? So, or 64%, excuse me. It's almost 65. So in percentage terms, that was great. But if you look at it in the context of the chart, it's like, whoa. Like, you're still beneath this big swing high, which is beneath this cluster of swing highs here. And then you have all of this supply potentially and this. And then, like, you're still like at the bottom of a well, basically. And if you just look at it from this perspective, when you look at the monthly candles, I mean, look at that thing. It's careening towards 120. A good way to think about that is it is right now on its way to 120 unless we get a bullish reversal. And maybe we do get a bullish reversal. Who knows, right? There's no reason why that couldn't happen, I suppose, right? But is that something that one wants to bet on? So right now, it's only down about 31%. That's interesting. So that to me says, and also if you think about where we are in the sort of weekly cycle, which, really kind of correlates with the platinum, which is only on week 25, usually has 30-week cycles. So you can easily see another month or more of downside. So in this case, right, the downdraft really started like right here. I think that's probably about when platinum printed its, let's just look at that really quickly. Platinum. Right, so that was printed on the week of January 9th. It's weekly. It's ICH, if you will. Right, that makes sense. So it actually peaked the week before that. And notice it's also already beneath this swing high, which is beneath this swing high. Just all not good news, which is what we observed on the monthly chart. It's all the same, multiple time frame analysis. So maybe we get some kind of furious bounce around $1.20, right? Like, I don't know. But what this is really setting up is, if we go back to that yearly chart, is a move down to test this low here, which is 86 cents. So we'll see if we get down there. And so, as I said, we'll look at platinum itself, which is going to tell us more about just kind of macro where we are. Let's start with the monthly chart because it's good to get your bearings there. And as I always say, let's call it a two-step process. A, is the higher time frame candle green or red, right? If it's red, it's going lower. If it's green, it's going higher. So we're red, right? Very red. This is your monthly chart. And the previous month was also red. So that's important to know. Great. Cool. The other thing that's really important is, are we making lower lows or higher highs? In this case, we just made a really important lower low. So you notice we have this big move up for 4 candles, all green, starting in September. That was your big bottom, really important low. That also marked your potential 8-year cycle low for gold. Big furious move up. And now we've made a low below not only this candle here, but also this one. And so to be clear, this is your swing high on a monthly level below this line here, right? So below that low. So that's an important level that we're going to be watching for because this candle marks the high and now we've moved below it. So that is, what's that level? 993. Let's just make sure that's right. So that's going to be really important. And let's see, what does that look like on the quarterly chart? Oof, okay. So this is where the rubber really hits the road, right? So this quarter's candle is screaming red. And remember what we just said. If it's going to be in weekly cycle decline, so let's look at that weekly chart actually. So this is where that multiple time frame analysis is so important. Yikes. So this is week 25 that we're closing out. I mean, my God, what a bearish candle. Like, yeesh. Look at that upper wick and then yikes. And let's talk about how much of the rally it's given back for sure. But if you just think about in terms of time, you would expect this to be closer to a 30-week cycle like we talked about in the previous video about a month ago. And that would be a late March low. Right, so if that was 30 weeks, that gets you right, like late March low. So that gives you a lot of time to decline, which opens up a lot of potential downside and gives you the potential that this quarterly candle becomes a bearish outside candle and makes a lower low below this. So that's by the time we close March, that would be below 863. And that would obviously very much put this low in jeopardy, right? Like and to be clear, we're already we're already violating the monthly swing low that potentially sets the bottom, right? So you can see this candle here. That high is at 943, and we're obviously below 943. I mean, appreciably below it. And we'll see if we close below it too for the February candle. That's a big signal. These are the warning signs. That's why when you spot a swing high on the daily chart, I mean, this all started with this swing high here on day 12. And this is your daily count. So we've been going, so we peaked on day 12 and we've been falling now for basically 31 days. This is day 41. And remember, I tweeted about this that, This is a swing low here, right? And we actually even got follow through, closed above the 10-day moving average. It was still very early for a potential daily cycle low. And remember, the daily cycle low here is probably also going to be the weekly cycle low as well. So that's what we're sort of playing for again. So like that late March number really becomes not only a weekly low, but also, well, obviously if it's a weekly low, it's also a daily low. But like the idea that they'll coincide. So like, yeah, you maybe get like a 60 something some odd day cycle, and you can see they can go pretty long, like 82 days. This one was 62, that was 65, 75. So it would make sense in the timing band for sure. But man, a lot of damage has been done to the chart. And let's talk about that retracement, right? We talked about, let's close out with that. So it's just an easy rule of thumb. So from this Pico bottom to this top, we rallied 316 points. And we've now fallen 211 points. That's easy math. That means we've fallen more than 2/3. So we've given back more than 2/3 of the rally. That's not good. Like, think about it. If you give back 100% of the rally, that means, or if you give back more than 100% of the rally, it means you make a lower low. So 50% is a good kind of just ballpark, because usually you'll see a 50% retracement or something around there. But now you're at 67% and counting, and we still have probably more weekly cycle decline to go. That really puts these pivots in jeopardy. This is going to be very important to watch, as also a harbinger for broader precious metals as well. And I do have a separate video about that. Definitely take a look at that. So that's the lay of the land there. We'll leave it at that. And as we, well, actually, let's just look at the yearly candles really quickly, just to close out. So this is where you're at real risk here, right? So a move below 796 gives you a new low on this yearly candle here. So there are big implications here all around the board that we're going to be watching for. And definitely take a look at the pinned comment again if you're not following on Twitter for those just quick updates from there. Thanks for watching.